going into this series.
Whoa.
Now, we do have special Game 5 music actually this season. And this is the first time that this has happened. And this is it. Everything comes down to this, as we will once again, of course, see the Annie ban here by KT Rolster. Question is, does Elise get through? No, does not. As once again, Vi will be banned. A huge impact Cuz made in Game 4 on the pick with the Twisted Fate. And this draft feels so far very familiar. Every single time T1 on blue side bringing this through is Lee Sin will be banned. So a lot of strong picks here in the AD carry role for Guma to lock in first here. Could be the Caitlyn, could be the Varus. I really like this adaptation. Ashe as well
is available. They leave a lot up, and they banned Ashe in the same position in Game 3. It's not going to be Teemo, guys. They banned Ashe, and Lee Sin was selected. So let's see what the choice will be. Wukong.
All right, Wukong coming through. A lot of jungle bans here, so the pool's getting thinned out. KT will have to lock in their jungler here now. What else can they hide, though? As this gives the opportunity, of course, for a counter pick for AD carry for T1. With the Varus highlighted here again for aiming. Azeri has been so fantastic. His late game champions have been amazing, but his Varus in the late game from behind in Game 2 was game winning. His Qs, his arrows from range, fantastic. And now, what jungle pick do we get here? Is all meta picks are basically off the table right now. And Viego is disabled, as far as I know, still here in the LCK. We didn't have the graphic for that.
Yes.
And yes, we got a confirmation. Xin Zhao here.
Yeah, I mean, this was always the go-to with this many jungle bans throughout the regular season, at the end of it at least. Canyon pulling it out.
It's got a very high win rate.
Yeah, over 4 games, but still counts.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's the thing, it's niche, but it has been successful. And we'll see the Xayah Rakan to come through here into the Varus lane. Can be very tricky to play this one out. We have not yet seen Lehens be willing to play a non-engaged support and just play, I mean, minus the Lulu, of course, but be willing to play the Karma, the Renata here. I mean, I think you prioritize it here right now. You're into Wukong, you have a Xin Zhao, you have so much disengage.
Watch him play Singed. It's like, yeah, it's me, it's Lehens, it's Game 5. I think it's pretty insane, but...
BDD's Taliyah! They prioritize the Taliyah!
I mean, BDD is playing like a monster in this series, so prio for him, I don't mind it.
I was already ready to say they're playing Renata. The Taliyah pick is coming through, or through the bans for T1. But they actually get the soul lane here. And it's Lehens, like you said, very difficult to ban against Keria in these situations, but Lehens, similar situation where now if you use a ban here on the Renata, it almost feels like you've lost a lot of power here in terms of your bans.
Yeah.
They're still going to have counter pick for Keen no matter what here. They will ban the Renata. This gets a little bit more dicey from here. We'll see if it's just one more LeBlanc ban for Game 5, and it will be. Oh, man.
Just denied for the majority of these pick bans as what is going to be the last choice. I do agree, it's really difficult, especially with a lot of support stuff available, and so they are going to ban the Jax instead.
I wonder if KT would be willing. It's going to be Blitzcrank, maybe.
Oh.
So risky, though, of a pick.
Yeah, look at his head. He's like, ooh, I don't know, you know. Heimer.
Wow, they will actually pick the Heimer finally. It looks like he nods for it. And this is what we've been kind of waiting for. Is KT confident enough? No, never mind.
Nautilus, okay.
I was going to say, are they confident enough that they can actually get objective controlled setup with these and win lane super hard against the best duo lane in the LCK? But it will once again be Nautilus for lockdown. And Gragas opens up a Gnar pick here, potentially, if it is going to go to the top lane. There's no way to hide this, as T1 right now is Faker's best champion in the later parts of the season was his Gragas. So the first team to pick it and make it meta. And the rest of the world followed suit. Bit of a smile here from Zeus. What's it gonna be?
Well, it's not going to be blind Yasuo, right? That's one thing I think we can...
Well?
Right? I mean, maybe you play it into Taliyah? Yasuo's pretty good into Varus and Taliyah, but not into the others. So it will just be the Gnar.
See what Keen's answer is going to be. The Jace. The Jace made it all the way through the draft.
That was quick.
They have double lethality here in terms of poke. I thought perhaps maybe they just say, we're going to play around topside. We play a Camille, and that's going to be the gamble he takes here at the end. But against Xayah, difficult to pull off with the front line that they're playing against. He's just going to try to chip away at it with that lethality. He and Varus will have so much damage with Taliyah engaged and shaping these team fights, man. That is what BDD has been so fantastic at. Whether it's the Twisted Fate, whether it's the Taliyah, the Azir that's no longer meta, he is so good in these early skirmishes. And if T1 overextend one more time, they lose that early game, they fall behind against this composition. It gets even harder to play than the Zeri comp we just saw in Game 4. But it is against, of course, the best duo lane in the LCK. You have the Xayah Rakan, and getting advantages there with the Varus isn't going to be free. It's going to come at a cost. Top side of the map, definitely a strong matchup here for Keen.
Who's going to stop Keen? Our top laner. I also saw a very seductive Cloud Templar behind it. That was interesting. As the T1 fans are out here in droves, of course, at the same time.
Waited so long for this moment to come back to form, to come back to the top. You mentioned it's been 6 years since we saw the Game 5. It's been 5 years since they defeated T1. They didn't make a playoff appearance until last year since. This is the second time. To win this means so much to these fans that have been waiting so long for this moment, this opportunity to play a close series against the rival telecom team that has been so legendary over the last 2 years.
I think more reliable wombo combo for T1 this time, but a lot to shape the rift on the side of KT. It's anyone's from here. Let's jump onto the rift for game number 5.
Level 1 here, trying to trap the Gnar.
Oh, no, he has no idea. But it's not every day that you just walk into that brush either. So yeah, he's just going to take Hop.
That's huge, though. Going to really help Keen get an early advantage in this lane. Better that than losing Flash, but still a huge advantage. We'll see if T1 can set up something counter-wise here when they return, but it seems unlikely at this stage.
It's crazy that Faker, you know, he has such a massive champion ocean that he goes back to Gragas. Feels like, you know, this season comfort, and he was by far the best Gragas that we've had, as, by the way, it looks like he took the PTA.
Yeah.
Which has just been hovered here.
Interesting. Doesn't feel strong in this draft, really. Could be helpful against the Xinjiao ganks, potentially on the top side for some additional damage when Wukong comes over. But without fleet footwork here, without Conqueror, you know, dueling this Jace, this is going to be so incredibly difficult. He has, of course, the Hop, but Keen is going to be pushing this advantage early.
I wonder if it makes his level 1 really strong. He's like waiting here in the brush, just waiting.
Looks like that's the idea.
Rocket. Obviously, you know, starting Hop, maybe that was all part of the plan, you know, to put on some extra pressure. Doesn't really look like it.
Yeah.
It's getting a little bit hyped, you know.
Well, I mean, look, with Zeus, you always have to trust, and you always have to know there's a plan. This might not be the level 1 plan you were talking about, but he definitely has a reason for this, and we'll see how it plays out later on. And it's going to make him great in duels and extended trades.
This was not a good trade from Faker, as he did not hit level 2, but BDD did, so he just took a massive chunk.
And Showmaker's on a 3-loss streak, until the most recent we've seen, of course, but BDD was not on that list. He was one of the ones who were putting the Taliyah win rate very high. And, this is level 2 now for Keen, and starting Hop is really, it's just unfortunate, but that's what they planned out with their level 1 here. And it's wild that Jace goes all the way through the draft, a pick that we haven't seen Keen on in a while.
It got banned first by KT actually in games 2 and 4. And then it got banned in second rotations by T1 in games 1 and 3. So it was definitely on a lot of teams' minds. Or I guess I had those backwards. KT on the, banned by,
Yeah, everyone knows what you mean, yeah. And Zeus is like the Jace player.
It was banned a lot, yeah.
You know, you think about Kana, I'd say Kana, Zeus are probably the most iconic Jace players we have in the LCK, and for Kana, you know, that for a lot of people, that's not always a good thing, but he has played a lot of Jace. He has prioritized it a lot. Khan, obviously one of our most famous Jace players of all time. But in a series like this, it's just been so far removed. Zeus feels like the Gnar pick is going to be the safest to blind. And then they level 1 him, so his agency is even lower than normal. He has turned this lane around a little bit, though. Actually has a experience advantage at the moment.
Yeah. It's not too much going on. To go back to what I was saying, it was actually KT banning it all 4 times. They just did it on blue side in first rotation and then second rotation on red.
Yeah,
they had banned it 4 games in a row at some point, and then they get it in Game 5, R5. It's very interesting.
It's been the Jace Gragas flex that T1 relied on so much. And I say relied on, it's not like they needed it, but they leaned on it, right? They used it, they utilized it, they popularized it. As you can see here, Faker is 10-0 on the pick this season. This is kind of going back to...
This is overall.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. I was going to say, that seems a bit high for this season.
Uh-oh. Slow down here on the Zeus. He was trying to get Mega Gnar. I don't know if he's going to get it. Flash in! First blood to Keen!
Uh-oh.
A solo kill in the top lane!
And this was the one angle, you know, that you're thinking if you're a KT fan, maybe you could get an advantage here. But it's like, okay, Keen is second best top laner, but he's playing against Zeus, so what does that really mean? But you give him a counter matchup like this, you get him that advantage early on, and he's going to roll with it. And that was the one thing I told those KT fans I ran into earlier. They were like, is there any way? I said, Keen.
Oh, dodging the hook, making him go to the wall. Cuz is here. You see that T1 will just back away once they do see this. There's a lot of hiding of vision from Jonah Strong, so I thought something was awry, something was happening.
So Faker, you know, you talked about how that's his all-time record. He's only played a few games of Gragas, of course, in mid before this season. But let's go back to Keen's play here on the top side. As he just goes in. It's the W, extra damage. Shock Blast is empowered. He flashes for the final auto. He's just so calm, man. He's chilling. This is Game 5. The fans are screaming in the background, and he's just as cool as a cucumber. Doesn't care at all.
Yeah. It's only the first step in many to try to take a victory here in a Game 5.
Leah's coming up. He has ult.
Spotted. Uh-oh, this... Oh boy, Oner's in a lot of trouble. He's up against the wall, in between a rock and a hard place, and down he goes.
Oh no, Valdez.
2 early kills for KT.
2 early kills for Keen, especially here.
Oh boy.
What an extended lead he should be able to pick up now. And man, you have, as this composition as KT now, so much agency on the map too. You should be able to force this early Drake into your favor. It's a Mountain Drake, which you definitely want to deny from T1, considering the Jace and the Varus. Even one solo Mountain is going to be pretty good against your composition. Faker's trying to set something up here, but he just doesn't have the angle. And Talia is very good into these quote-unquote safe laners because she could just constantly chip away at them. And
another one ignites in. Faker's in trouble. Cask is good, but can he get out of this one? I guess he can. He's got Keria nearby. Holds on to his flash.
And, you know, Faker's playing Gragas here, very safe champion, but in order to CS, he has to put himself in harm's way for these shoves. The shove comes through, Lehens comes over, gets the hook. Faker does not have to flash. The Cask does come through, and as you mentioned, the roam coming up, he will escape, but you can just see how lethal this composition is, and this is so much setup now on the Drake here for KT Rolster. Cuz level 6.
Uh-oh, Guma face checks, tries to get a ward down. He doesn't have flash. I think he's dead. Down he goes. Aiming gets another kill, and that is now 3 on the board for KT before 10 minutes.
And T1 have found their match in early game. They have found their match, you know, and it feels like this is a hard counter to T1 in some ways. When you get a lead as KT, T1 don't know how to lose. They don't know how to play safe, play back, play defensively. You're just walking into these time and time again, and KT are like, thank you for the gift again. In this moment here where Oner's like, I'm going to play around top side, I'm going to play around getting this Gnar head. Look at the Gnar bar set for Zeus. Like, they wanted to make this play happen, and if there's no Talia in this game, with the Gnar bar the way it is, they probably make that work. As Guma comes up here, he's got a control ward in this brush, just walks face first into this. Man, that's another kill going over. And man, KT fans are losing it here in the arena as we take a 100 or 1100 gold lead at 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty massive, and I mean, because he's been trying to have a big impact on the bottom side of the map, this is something you have to do, especially taking the Xinjiao into Wukong, right? You want to have that early impact. Is able to get down there and get a kill onto Guma, who did not have his flash, so it's an excellent way to now get your other lane fed. You already got Keen in a great spot on the top side, cause also part of that kill. And yeah, just a really good start here. The majority of the gold lead is on the top lane still, of course.
And BDD double shove.
Oh my, this is just getting out of hand.
Yeah, and Faker, he's going to lose about a fifth of his health here. He's going to be able to tank through most of it, but I don't know about contesting this anymore. Keen's over here.
There's a lot of ultimates available for T1 if they could layer them well, then perhaps, but against this lead and against Xin Zhao, I don't think they should be allowed to take this, but they will. They're just going to walk up to take it down, and now they're going for the fight. They take down Xin Zhao. No, the Crescent Guard comes in. Cuts
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Lives. How does he live?
Oh, man, the Castle Cage was perfect, but the Crescent Guard is just too good. And that's 2 kills going over to KT Rolster. The eye is picked up by Zeus. And he will be able to get some plate gold potentially, but not right now. He's going to take that empowered recall and get the hell out of top lane. As Keen's going to come up here and pick up this wave, but it looked so good, the engage. They had everything set. Like you said, if you layer those ultimates, and Xin Zhao lives with almost no health. It's reminiscent of something we saw from KT against Live Sandbox, you know? Yeah. Almost the exact same Herald contest.
Otherwise you lose.
And they did not kill him. He flashes out. The Crescent Guard is going to keep him alive here. Keria goes down. Faker is dead. Flash is down now for 2 of these critical players here in terms of engage. Watch this from Cuz's first-person view. He's cast in. Crescent Guard pushes the rest of them away, and his mouse movement as well as he flashes further away. Oh, man.
I think his ult just got off cooldown as well.
Yeah.
I think the timing was actually perfect for him to just barely survive. It's crazy. KT are actually just playing everything perfectly, even in the face of some of this, you know, what has been over the regular season, just perfect kind of layering of CC. It was just barely not enough to kill Cuz.
Keen is going for Gore Drinker. He's got it already. And he's like... He had his Iron Spike super early because he picked up those initial kills, right? But now he's got the Gore Drinker. And you could argue that lethality could be stronger when you're this far ahead because you could just snowball the game a little bit better. But he's playing into a pretty tanky front line here. It's Steel Caps on the Snar. And he just wants to be able to win these crazy fights that T1 are forcing non-stop, and adding that extra heal on top of him is going to be massive, and because he's so ahead, he will still have his second item very soon, and he's still going to be doing big damage with Shock Blast. His poke is still relevant. But you already have one other lethality member who's going to be able to challenge in terms of poke in your bot lane Varus. So it's not going to be the end of the world here that he is not going to be spiking as hard as a normal 4-0 Jace would in previous times before the nerf to Eclipse. Skuma's going to come down here and try to get a plate. Will he be punished? I don't think so, but he won't get the plate. I'm still like in awe at how quickly T1 has crumbled in this series. And, I wasn't trying to curse it when I was saying that, we've seen a lot of Game 5s fall apart here, but T1 in the LCK domestically, they don't play Game 5s. They win those series fast, right?
Yeah.
Not this time.
And how immaculately KT have played this early game as well. I mean, it's just been a masterclass. It's almost like they're powering up as the series comes along. They're the first team to potentially get a win on red side if they do it. Would be pretty massive. The Xin Zhao starting early, getting so much value. The Jace counter pick into Gnar just left up only in Game 5. And you've got BDD just holding it down in mid like a champ. Things are just going incredibly. Another stun goes on to the Gragas.
No flash.
Here is Lehens, another good cask. It doesn't look like BDD quite as the damage, but he is layering it, and actually, he will as Faker. Yeah, he does not have a way to get back over. I thought he would have body slam in time, but no, it's just a straight up kill from BDD. Lehens is there to support.
There's no cross map to be had here. Zeus is playing with fire here as well with where he is on the map.
And again, they are trying to force fights when they should not be, when they cannot be.
And T1, they just don't know how to lose. They don't know how to play from behind. It's wild watching this happen. It's actually crazy.
It's insane. Zeus is going to go down as well. This is a massive early game stomp.
It's that moment where you're like, Faker Young, you said if you die, we go in. You said if you die, we go in. They used a lot to kill you, right? And he's coming down. Zeus is there, but he has no damage. He's sitting on the steel caps and a Kendall gym, and he's not in position. The Nautilus is still there. And you're forcing a fight because T1 in these really rough scenarios, in these extremely tough fights where they're down on members, have turned it with their coordination so many times, but this was an unturnable situation. This is a massive lead. Is aiming. Will he potentially get caught here? Cyclone and Flash for Oner.
He's trying to run. He does have Flash. There it is, as on the chase is Keria. And he will get the charm in. Cyclone comes in. Healy used, aiming, trying to survive. He stands alive, and finally he gets knocked down. Oner burning to the Ignite, but he will survive as well. And now, Lehen's going down. T1 maybe finding an angle of their own, as Lehen's did go into the stopwatch. Has to use Featherstorm. Here comes Faker. Picks up a kill on the BDD. And that's a bunch of shutdowns that all of a sudden T1 are coming back.
Never underestimate the clutch factor of T1, though. They will make this happen. Faker going to tank a lot of turret shots here. Cuz wants to come over and lock him down. Flash.
Oh, he's dead. Now, cast. Yep, doesn't matter. Cuz going to take him out. And that'll be the end of that.
So that's a lot of gold going into the pockets of T1 this last exchange. And this was really well played. Love the ult usage there from Gumayusi. Perfectly timed. When the Hens came out of stopwatch, make sure they lock down the kill. But they spent a lot of time doing this. This is the moment where things really go wrong here for T1, though. Faker has a nice cask to push Lehen's away. But Lehen still has Flash. He's still within range, and he hooks perfectly, so he doesn't hit the wall, but actually hits the Gragas. And then they decide they want to force this here when there's no prio top. And Zeus, no Narbar here whatsoever. And the predictive shock blast there from Keen does so much damage to him. And Lehen's is here. You have a Weaver's Wall, and T1 just put themselves back against the wall here into the corner. And then the bottom side play, I don't know how much we'll get to see because stuff is happening in live. This is really well played from Oner, Keria, and Faker, who's rotating over. Aiming plays as well with the Ghost Blade Flash. As meanwhile in live.
Yeah, we got a setup here. They're going in. As, oh boy, looks like Chains landed onto Guma. He doesn't have Featherstorm, as he's going super far down the lane. Doesn't matter. As down he will go. It looks like KT should be able to line this up into a Rift Herald. Yeah. Down goes that turret as well.
Second Rift Herald. In the bottom side, like, everything was played well from Guma. He gets a kill. They shut down the enemy AD carry. But it's not going to stop the snowball that's rolling down the hill that is KT, because they have so much map control. And Lehen's on engage supports, man. It's just a thing of beauty. They were not going to play the Heimerdinger.
Can't believe they made him play Lulu twice. That was a mistake. Let's not see that again.
I mean, I'm okay with it with some of the Flash Fog growth plays we saw, for example, but...
Sure. He is really coming to his own in this as well. I mean, he was great last year as well on Gen G, but
no one was really playing the engage support Varus outside of Challengers, right? We saw that in Challengers, and then Lehend was like, "I'll play Leona, I'll play Nautilus, I'll do this." Yeah. He's like, "I'll play Blitzcrank, it's fine." And when the changes, the nerfs to Enchantress came through, Lehend was just so happy, man.
3 turrets already gone. This is going to be a 4th. As they cannot stop it. Nobody's even here. Guma's behind his turret.
It's a 2 Drake lead, too. And is it... Okay.
Oh, it's Cloud.
Cloud. It could have been Hextech or Infernal, though. So, you know, if you're a T1 fan, you're like...
Sometimes...
Could have been worse.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're this far ahead, the Cloud is actually really good. You chase them down faster.
Sure.
You know, you don't quite need the damage.
But if it's Hextech with this Varus and Jace, or if it's Infernal with the Varus and Jace, I feel like you're feeling really terrified. But yeah, the Cloud is still good. Like, don't get me wrong. Could have been Chemtech again. Nobody wants that, except T1 fans. In this case, I guess.
And Ox, of course, who's watching at home.
They should be able to survive here, but they're not able to get the turret. And T1, just trying to force somebody out of position. Maybe we all in on somebody. Faker doesn't have Flash, but it's coming up soon. Gragas engages happen from so far away. Stuff like this, trying to get some additional vision. So risky, but you have to take risks right now here in this 5th game.
We have this stat that T1's recent record in Game 5s of best of 5s, obviously, 2-4. Now, I'm not sure how recent that is.
Now, yeah, consider the Gen G finals.
Great.
Yeah, the Gen G finals in summer, right? MSI, Worlds, those are 3 that I can think of on the top of my head right now. Didn't go to Game 5, but a best of 5s, right? And I'm going to watch this play one more time. Is those chokes have come through, right? Those have happened where, you know, you see underperformances. I think the Game 5 draft from DRX really threw T1 for a loop. You know, Kingen had an overperformance in that series. Zeus had an underperformance. And this game is just T1 falling behind early and then still trying to force team fights into their favor.
Yeah, they still had the aggression level set to the max when it should have definitely taken a little step back after the way this game started off. As it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. Obviously about almost 5,000 gold to lead for KT. It is quite large at this point in time. A lot of first and second items even finished on multiple members of KT. They have double, actually triple tier as well. Behind all of this, it's like, oh yeah, we're destroying them. And also we have 3 tiers.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Saris, we're going to have double Muramana.
And if this game continues on the trajectory it has, we're going to have a lot more tiers than that here in Lowell Park. And three
You're
tiers,
not wrong.
3 tiers stacking up. You have a Gragas who's naturally going to get stronger, right? But is not in a position this game to actually make a high impact here damage-wise because you're behind. You're going to get dove now.
Yeah, they're going to go for this if they find an angle. Hen's thinking about it. Doesn't have to, and as they do respect it.
He's going to get a bounty here, but it's in trade for Inner. So it's actually still arguably, while this feels okay for T1, you're still happier as KT Rollster because this is more turrets off the map, setting up a different win condition in the bottom lane. And in terms of the gold picked up here, like trading even, quote unquote, it always feels good, right? People like to say that when you're behind. But is Faker picking up that and some additional money on a Gragas he's so far behind on? He's only 5 stacks in to a Rod of Ages. We're talking about a 24-minute completion of that. And the way that Taliyah is going to naturally scale now with this Jace and the Varus is just, you don't have to force anymore, actually. You just set up on objectives and say, this is mine. You annex them, essentially, and say, like, come and lose the game, T1, or lose the game by not showing up.
The bottom lane is going to be such a disaster here. Like, there's no way that Zeus can get close to the Jace. Hey, this isn't fair. Lahens is here, too? Wait, the entire team is roaming down.
Yeah, and the Drake is going to spawn soon, so... got an angle.
Oh, the predict! Lahens, did you really have to do him this dirty? I mean, when the game is already this in your favor.
I mean, they could try to push this inhibitor turret, too, before this Drake spawns. As BDD has teleport on the top side of the map, it's not safe to push mid because they'll just collapse on you. They're not going to push it all the way, but they do get a big rotation over here from Faker. And this means BDD is free farming. So you know, basically give and take here for T1, but you're trying to defend your base. You lose a Gnar, and then the Taliyah gets more advantages on the other side of the map. As T1 maybe try to start a desperate Baron here with the vision clear. Could be a thing, but it is very greedy right now.
It is so desperate. You're just hoping that KT do not check.
And so far they have not.
Well, they're TPing, so this makes it a lot more obvious. As, okay, they're just going to go for it. Feels like KT haven't really noticed yet.
Yeah, they're very late
slow. Okay, now they know 100%.
This is a T1 moment where you could turn this game back around, but they don't have any vision here. They probably have to back away. Cuz going in!
Yeah, he's just going in. He's got Crescent Guard. He is so tanky right now. They're not really able to turn onto him. Faker's got a nice angle. Big cast. In goes Zeus. They take out the Jace. That's a lot of the gold gone. Is it enough is the question.
I think maybe.
Cuz, though, he is fighting 1v2 against these guys. Down goes the Forest, and down will go Cuz.
And that's Baron.
T1, they found an angle, and they found a fight.
And this was KT just not doing their due diligence on this Baron, and they come over way too late, and the Crescent Guard engage is desperate. Now, a lot of low health bars here on the side of T1, so they're going to have to reset before they actually go over to the Baron. And in fact, with this Cloud Drake open, which KT, by the way, did also not take, T1 could look for even more here. There's still bounties available on the map here, objective-wise, so this is going to be some additional gold they pick up with this Cloud Drake. And man, KT really flubbed the engage. Now, we're going to go to this pick here first, which was really cool prediction. We don't need to watch the rest of this, though, because I want to see what's going on in live quickly. We do have to get to that Baron replay. But the Baron fight is really messier. Faker's engage here with Keria is basically perfect. And it's an 80 carry here that does not have the ability to the long-term team fight comparatively to what you're going to have as Guma here. So look at aiming. He's doing very little with the Keria Wombo there with Faker. And aiming, he just can't kite it back. He can't take Zeus out.
Too.
Yeah, there's just nothing he can do. And then Cuz is taken out here. Oner gets some additional heals, does not go down. Very well played. And I'd like to see if T1 actually were able to secure the Baron. We don't know. So grouping up for it now. Still not enough vision control, though.
Yes, one Cloud Drake. Maybe that helps in setting up more of those engages on the side of T1. They have also collected 750 gold of objective bounties.
Oner, if he goes down, there's no way to get a Baron. Won't be able to get out with Warrior Trickster.
Yeah. And KT, this time, I think after that scare, Like, this is Game 5. You can't be messing up stuff like that, right? I think they're going to try to take it a lot slower. That's part of how they were winning their games that they won, right? Is just taking the games really slow with leads.
And Faker's just been sitting in the side lane this whole game. He's now on his Rod Seraph's completion. It's going to be done in like a minute or 45 seconds or so. He's got a stopwatch here. He has 20 CS lead over BDD because he just sent it to the top lane, and he was just like, I'm just going to take out the bounty. I'm just going to keep pushing. I'm going to grab a turret. I'm going to grab some additional gold. And he was trying to do that Faker thing where if they collapse on me, we'll get something else. Nobody collapsed on him, so he got a turret. He got a bunch of farm. And he's starting to come back online this game. Talking about how Gragas and Taliyah both naturally do similar things in terms of how they scale. And the Taliyah is going to be more of a damage carry, Faker going to be more of that engage carry, as we saw in the last fight with Keria. There's the Rod completion. And man, it is such a tight race here for winning this Baron fight and setup, but every time you group too heavily, the enemy team gets a little bit more side lane control. BDD is Taliyah without teleport, but does have the Weaver's Wall, and he could maybe set up a flank. It's taking a long wraparound angle.
Oh boy, the pick potential is massive. Oner going to be forced to Cyclone before the fight even begins.
Horrible. That's one of their best engage tools and one of their follow-ups. Look at the shot blast damage.
Somebody's got to check, right? Somebody's got to get in there. The cast is massive. Can they burst down Faker? Goes into the Zhonya's. Now Keria gets over the wall. The damage is massive for the side of T1. KT have gone a little bit too deep, a little bit too far. And now they're on the run in T1. Maybe they've got an angle here, although BDD, trying to be the hero, will take out Faker. Guma is just collecting gold as we speak. He's going to get another kill. The Gnar comes in, and it's an ace for T1.
T1 may have just done it. I mean, there's so much gold here on the map right now, and the Baron is theirs for the taking. And the engage there from Keria, once again, fantastic over the wall as KT vastly overextend, and similar to Game 2, you have to be so careful with these leads against this Rakan, and you're going in so deep. Look at Keria's positioning here, and you're ahead, I get it, Keen, but you cannot go this deep. You get caught by the cask, then the follow-up from Keria hits. And where's the damage here? Aiming can hit a few Qs here, but long-term, and when he has to kite back, when he actually is gotten on top of, there's nothing this lethality bars is ever going to do. BDD will trade one back here onto Faker.
And they both die.
Yeah.
Maybe if you stay alive, maybe like BDD could poke them, but no, instead they just get aced.
So there should be at least 3 turrets that are taken here for T1 on the map, as the T1 fans are so hyped about the comeback here in this 5th and final game. Let's take a look at where we are here now. 1400, the Baron power play, but KT, faster group up on what will be their sole point, so massive that T1 was able to get that one Drake away from them. Makes that even if they lose this one, it's not that significant. This game is so tense, so back and forth.
It should not have been in this position. KT were so far ahead. They had the game in the bag, it felt like, but T1 decided to bait them into a couple of fights, and KT could not resist. They say, we're so far ahead, of course we can fight you, that's fine. But what happens is, when you have so much gold on one guy and he dies first in both fights, you cannot afford that. You lose so much as Faker now going to have to flash.
It was really well played by Cuz. He tries to bait out the body slam, has the sidestep. Faker has to flash. Guma's taking a huge shock blast, and now he's pushed out of this fight.
This is how you're supposed to fight for it? This is how you're supposed to fight as KT.
Yeah.
This is how you do it, not what you were doing before, whatever that was.
And they are doing it well here, Lehens. Closing this gap.
Gotta continue poking, gotta cover your flanks. They see Oner.
He has Flash Cyclone. They have to respect this.
And this is a singular Cloud Drake. You can see that they are going to respect it, because still on the Drake, Mega Gnar about to spawn. Zeus always on time with that one.
KT so split on the calls. They're chasing this Wukong, and they're losing control of the Drake.
But no damage on the Drake from T1. As I don't even know if they care about the Drake. It looks like they want to take the fight. Zeus with Mega Gnar. As Oner's going to Cyclone here on top of BDD, or rather onto Keen. As now the damage is in, it's going to be taken by the side of Cuz, but Keria! But the flank comes in! Keria gets the flank, and can they get on top of VODS is really the question, as he's gonna get away. Cuz looks like he's dead, and more kills go to the side of T1.
Oh man, they tunneled so hard onto Oner. He survives. He had the Cyclone early, but they did not see the flanking recon. Again, Keria pulls it off here. TP from Faker to the top side of the map. They still have Baron buff for 20 more seconds. That should be 2 additional turrets going over. And yeah, KT end up getting the Drake, but it's just Soul Point, not the Soul. Turrets falling all over the map. KT roster here. Can you catch Faker? Remember, Keria just below him. And it's not over till it's over, but man, T1 are back in the driver's seat in a huge way.
Somehow, some way. The Baron buff power play was like 5,000 gold. And yeah, they lost the singular Cloud Drake. Who cares? They are so much better spot now compared to earlier.
Look at the long wraparound from Keria on the minimap. And you hit the Cyclone here. Now KT awkwardly trying to turn back into the Drake. And look at Keria, flash ult here. So many charms. Aiming is deleted. The VDD on the side here, and there's no one to actually kill the carry. Guma can just clean up the rest of the fight. Guma has never really been under any threat here outside of that shock blast. This is Keria's first-person view. Look at how quickly he comes in and the shot calling, how rapid it is. You can really feel the tension in this series that KT almost stole away. He's just calling a push for the bot lane. Zeus' reaction.
He's like, oh, this is fun. Zeus is having a great time.
Reminds me of another top laner who said a similar thing.
Yeah.
Doran in the best of 3 last year against D+, formerly Dom1, of course, from that series last year. But look at the items now for Zeus. He has so much money he's picked up. He's actually becoming a huge frontline threat. Before, it was like, okay, Keen didn't go for the Eclipse build, but Nar's not that tanky. It's very difficult for him to actually frontline and look for these fights, but now he really is. He's got a Thornmail online. His Force of Nature is coming online soon, so he could be able to deal with some of that BDD poke, harass, as well as engage. And look at the gold held here across the board in items. Only Keen really still having that big advantage, but it's on Gorge Drinker Jace. So how much do you really care when you have this tanky frontline now? The Zhonya's is done. And T1 are just looking to get deep Baron vision.
The last 3 or 4 fights have all been the way that T1 won a fight, right? Like, it's just full-on engages, crazy, scrappy. Casks are sending your Lethality Varus flying into the team. The Jace, even though he's a little bit tankier with the Gore Drinker, doesn't matter. He gets thrown into the team. KT have not have a moment to breathe and just poke them down since, like, minute 15.
Yeah, this is what happens when you lose map control and all that standing gold. It's just hard engage now, you know, because there's so many different ways to peel as T1. And the Xin Zhao, who has a stopwatch, the Talia has a stopwatch, doesn't want to get anywhere near that Xayah. And Xayah just going to ult and be fine. Faker is just so tanky, it's hard to actually blow him up. And then you look at the Gnar build, Force of Nature is done. Zeus is hard to kill, so who do you kill? The flanking Rakan? Do you kill the Wukong that you tried to kill last time and failed, who has GA now? And it feels like checkmate here in terms of the itemization. KT's comp somewhat does have a timer on it. You know, the hourglass is running out here because you did go for double lethality here. And now the armor's up. Now the armor's ready. Now you have to deal with the late game Xayah, who's about to hit 4 items.
Even the Zhonya's, the GA, the Thornmail, obviously. Lots of armor just strewn across multiple members here on the side of T1 is absolutely going to help as this goes, as T1 just going to start this one up. That was actually on Vision. They know this is happening. I don't know that KT can stop it.
It's going to be really difficult to do so. KT need a miracle fight here. Look at the split. Keria on the flank again. Control Ward is ready. He's got flash too.
He's looking for that angle. Not going to have it just yet.
Man, Keria making my heart stop. As he often does.
All right, there is a controller in the back of that pit, so this one, I think T1 also have identified, like, okay, if this game goes late, we're probably going to be fine, so we can play it slow from here. Unless, you know, KT really try to force something on an objective, then maybe we look for our engage, our team fight, but otherwise, maybe just wait it out, you know, get another Cloud Drake, start stacking them up, and take little wins.
And they can stay over here on this Baron too.
Or just kill the Hens, who is killing a ward. Okay, he's just going to flash.
He does not have Hex Flash, so this is actually pretty significant that this has taken away one of the best engaged follow-ups. And he's pushed away. And T1 finally going to get Oner on this Drake. This scuttle is so valuable. As KT need to try to wrap in here now and push this Baron and look for a pick. I mean, Faker's level 18. And they're just not going to get anything out of this. They're going to let the Drake go, and they're not going to contest. They're not going to set up on Baron. KT falling apart here in the last hour. Because the only chance you have is trying to push on these tanky front lines when they're alone, when the damage is on the Drake. And you had Scuttle Vision there. You don't use it. And, like, T1 are like, okay, well, we know that they are concerned that we could be wrapping around with the Wukong. And now, like, they're just not going to do anything. So if we go over there, we're going to get the Drake, and then we're going to have the better group. And this is exactly what's happened. T1 setting up for this.
Zeus is so fast. He's just getting in there. He's looking for someone. Lens doesn't have any flash. He is looking to go down. Nobody can help him. Keen's here. I'm like, I don't do damage to Oner. What am I going to do? And that's a dead Nautilus now. We didn't have flash to begin with, and maybe this is now when T1 pull the trigger on this Baron.
What a comeback win this would be for T1, as they've got full vision here around the edge of the pit.
All right, let's see, cuz very important smites for your career as in they go, and they're getting burst! They're getting burst! They're going in one by one as in the front line, cuz will eventually go down, and GA, very important for Oner, but look at the health bars on the side of T1.
Okay.
That was not the fight you were looking for.
Definitely not. They wanted to actually force the fight here instead of trying to go for a 50-50 smite, and yeah, you kill Cuz, but it comes at a huge cost here. 2 members down, Keria is picked. Oner loses his GA and is killed subsequently as well. And these are huge wins for KT now, as Death Cap is getting closer. Guma!
Wait, there's a Zaya there! Guma with the stealth assassination. Gonna get the kill here, BDD. They had no idea. As he's on the run, Zeus will be able to take him down. Faker can just go into Zhonya's, and now they're looking to push mid.
Yeah, I think they might just be able to end it here. With no defending Talia for 50 seconds, T1 at least going to be able to try to force this inhibitor. They don't even have to waste time on Baron. That inhibitor means the follow-up Baron. Zeus has Gnar, and they have full map control.
Here they go. Here they go, Zeus looking for it. He's got flash. He's just going to hop the wall, and he's going to be looking for an angle to open this one up. 28 seconds on the Talia, 12 on the Varus. T1,
they've got the wave
on the doorstep of winning this best of 5 as a massive amount of CC in that front line.
Minions down.
Trying desperately to stop this, and they do take out the minions, as you mentioned, which is so important. They will back off now.
Yeah, BD is up in 10 here. Oner's on the Baron. No teleport for Talia. Keen's teleport coming back up here, but there's no wards. They're just trying to chase down and force this fight here on the Baron. This is probably going to be the fight that decides the game if they commit to it. If you give the Baron over here, that mid is open still.
They have to.
They have to fight for something.
Well, they have to give it up. They're not going to get in here on time.
Yeah, it's too late, because we're going to go all the way back to this. Keria going in, gets rooted here, and is instantly deleted by all of this damage. Keen takes him out. The GA is popped for Oner early. And then, yeah, you end up trading one back onto Cuz, but you can't win the fight anymore through this choke point, through the Jace and the Varus. And T1 will take the Baron in live. You have to imagine this is a huge mistake from KT after what was a fantastic fight. Just coming in here with no vision on where the enemy AD carry is. 2 kills go over to T1. And I think, you know, T1 now should be able to just take the whole map with the Baron that they secure.
Yeah, you would imagine. I mean, especially with the inhibitor down in mid. We are taking a look at all of the replays. You can see that the minion wave, biggest thing, it's gone, so not much they can do. They can't force it there. They have redemption, so that's there. But here is the Baron push.
KT let it go. Like you said, though, real fight there. It's going to have to be a good wave there to hold.
Ooh, the double knockup. Keria's almost gone. And BDD's desperately trying to carry this game.
Where are you at?
He's trying to desperately carry this game from the depths.
And Zeus, he had a Gnar bar set. That's why he was flanking there.
He didn't expect Keria to just appear in the middle of nowhere.
And he just instantly dies. Keria looks so frustrated on the player cam as he wants to make that engage happen. Once again, Guma hanging out and hiding, as that's a lot of your Baron power play gone. Now for T1, Baker's trying to set this wave. This game is crazy. It's going 40 minutes maybe here. Elder still not spawned yet. We're looking at maybe even a 7 Drake game.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Okay, Guma is seen. He is going to back away. Lehens going to push over, and they have control, and this will finally, it looks like, finally be the soul going over. As look at the setup here with Zeus and Keria. It's a double hit here for BDD, and then Zeus decides to go in anyways while the rest of the team is so far away. Not the right call here. Bit of a choke here in this critical moment.
Lehens, where are you?
Punished.
Where are you, Lehens? He's got flash. Looks like he will be okay. The team, meanwhile, doing the Cloud Drake as they're desperately trying to kill Lehens. He's just trying to survive here as he will flash and ult as, oh god, that wall almost blocked him off.
Yeah.
Either way, he is fine, and KT, they got the Cloud Soul.
This is a lot of extra movement speed for them, which is massive for their movement and rotation around the map. This bottom inhibitor is still very difficult to take here for T1 with the wave clear that KT has. And we'll see if round 2 works out better this time around.
20 seconds on Baron buff. They really desperately want any kind of value out of it.
Yeah.
Because so far they took it and then died over here. 10 seconds. In they go again. Knock up here on a Faker. He's taking a big chunk, but the turret goes down.
Bar set for Zeus. He's got to be so careful, cuz in the front line.
Okay, they're going to let this one go. KT not going to fight here on the inhibitor. And T1 gets some value at the end of their Baron power play.
All right, backs coming through. No objective for 5 minutes. There were no Elder, rather, for 5 minutes. The Baron spawns in 3. So there's going to be a bit of a late game lull state here, where the inhibitors are going to be perma-prio here for the side of T1. Mid inhibitor going to go down, or rather respawn here for in 1 minute. So KT will have that pressure somewhat relieved, but the bottom pressure, which is the opposite side of where Baron is a huge concern. As Faker is full build here. As you can see, doing a ton of damage when he does have those engages. Zeus as well, a huge threat at level 18.
Yeah.
KT need to somehow deal with that inhibitor down the wave and somehow stop T1 from doing Baron. Zeus
hiding on bush. They're going to try to take down Zeus here. He's knocked into the rocks. Down goes his GA.
Guma's not here.
Can they get anything on the backside of this? Zeus will go into Mega Gnar. He will survive. And he is now on the run. And that is the GA gone now for the Gnar.
Yeah, and that's going to be his teleport. He's going to have to commit. Guma's just trying to push top here and get a third inhibitor. They're going to have to defend. They have to defend this, I think.
The response from KT pretty slow. TP back in from Zeus. He doesn't have Mega Gnar. So they're really trying to make this inhibitor go down. They're trying to force it by any means. Oner's in mid.
Mid's back up. KT going to have to be decisive here. Keria on the edge. Once again, drops a ward. Got to be so careful of BDD's engages. Has been the bane of T1 here in this late game.
Oh, man. Guma's just in there. He's just poking away bit by bit. Oner. And you can see the base is falling apart on the right side of your screen. The inhibitor also going to go down as, okay, Cast comes in, but that just pushes Lehens in. Cuz pretty low. Goes into his GA. Didn't have Crescent Guard. As now he might, as he gets up. No, he's just going to get smoked down by Oner, who takes him here.
Keria?
Oh, Keria getting a little bit too close to the sun. Keen is fine. He's getting in there with the damage. Finally gets charmed up, and Guma frontlining. Guma gets knocked up. Guma cannot do the damage. They're standing
Aiming's alive
on their base. The tatters, the ruins of their base. Oner is trying desperately to get this one down, and Aiming will take him out.
Oh, so close. Oh, so close. And
Inhibitor.
That's the late game ace.
Aiming your mid inhibitor.
He's going to defend it. Oh, man. I don't know how much more of this game I can take, Valdez. It does not get closer.
Roller coaster
in Game 5. As Cuz is caught here early in this fight by Faker. The cast doesn't hit him, and that's the opportunity he sees to maybe re-engage here. Doesn't have the Crescent Guard.
That's the big issue.
And if he has it, maybe this fight is so much cleaner here because the poke damage from Aiming and Keen is fantastic in this fight. Great flash onto Keria here. Without that, I think they lose this fight for sure. And then these Nexus turrets doing so much damage here in the aggro. Lehens, so much high value. You're going to look like for maybe a second they could turn this with the GA pop from Oner, but it's not enough. Lehens does go down, but Aiming will pick up both kills. Baron, TPs from KT. They have that TP advantage. They're going to rush it down.
And they should be able to. I mean, there are some wards in the base as Redemption is in, but they should be able to get this one. Now, can T1...
Can they get out?
Looks like they... No, Rue comes in. Cuz has Crescent Guard this time. The knockup is there. Faker's getting on in. As the chains go wide, the cast takes him out.
BDD's coming over.
As well.
BDD's coming over. There's a lot of long-term damage in this fight here for KT.
Just putting up a wall, just trying to save his team, as meanwhile, in the base.
Yeah. Baron buff here now defensively for KT is going to be pretty useful. They're trying to get this inhibitor potentially.
It's 5v4. I think T1 can just step up. Yep, they're just going to take down the inhibitor.
They got to be careful of this poke. There's so much poke between the Taliyah, the Jace, and this Varus. Guma so far away from the fight here, wants to be positioned well, doesn't want to get hit by anything before he engages.
43 minutes, and Elder is spawning in a minute.
And Cuz is going to be up for it. He's not going to have flash.
T1 not going to take any chances there. I like it. I mean, especially the way this game has been going.
Man, I can't believe this game might come down to a 45-minute Elder 5v5, which could be a flip, but it seems unlikely considering T1's advantages here as they secure this, but Cuz gets caught here, does Crescent Guard and Flash to try to escape, and he just barely is taken out. Good dodge there on the ultimate from aiming. So maybe there's actually a re-engage angle there if that hits. KT gonna defend. There are no, I mean, like these inhibitors down, teleport from Faker, teleport from Zeus, these things can just end the game, so they have to prep these waves, which means T1 will have prio on this Elder no matter what. Like I was saying, it just seems unlikely it's going to be a flip because of that ability to just end the game.
At least KT have the 2 Nexus turrets, and they did just get that inhibitor. You are right, it's not looking great for them, but they do have some space. As they have made their way into mid lane, they get prio.
Oner on the flank, Flash Cyclone is ready. They have no vision.
They have no vision, Cuz Crescent Guard, I'm checking for that one now. As meanwhile, yeah, they just have no idea where Oner is.
We don't either.
Where is he? Okay, there he is. He's pretty fast. But is he fast enough is the question. Ult comes in, they're taking out T1's jungler.
That's no smite.
T1's jungler is gone.
Cuz Crescent.
Meanwhile, oh no, KT's jungler is gone.
Okay,
what
so is Keria. Keria's gone here. Guma has to carry this fight. Guma will have to carry this fight. The Narbar is fading away, and they've got poke. Oh, Valdez.
He has to go back. He has to stop the wave. There's too many super minions up there. He's got TP, though.
And Zeus could just TP and end if he wanted to, so he has to come over here and stop the minions. Oh, this game. Oh, my God.
I don't even know who's going to win. I mean, 45 minutes in.
Nobody knows.
There's just no way. Okay, Baron here still for 20 seconds.
There's no smite.
Start it up. Yeah, no smite. Might just come down to a straight up actual flip. As Faker gets aiming, and that's it. Down goes aiming, but the follow-up, down goes the Saya, and all of a sudden we're trading again. Faker too low in the middle of 3 members of KT. Down he will go, and I think
Zeus has TP. Does he try to TP to end? I mean, I don't know if he can do this without Narvar. He's about to have it.
Cuz just respond. He's like, do I defend? Do I go over for the smite?
I mean, Zeus, how's your steal, man? How's your steal?
One boomerang and a dream. He doesn't even have vision. Nope, that's going to be Elder to the side of KT. And they will be able to defend their base at the same time.
Oh, there's inhibitors coming back up, top inhibitors up, mid inhibitors up in 2. This is the craziest game I've ever cast of League of Legends.
Insane.
This Oner is caught here, but T1, they can't start the Elder during this chase, and they don't actually have good follow-up here. The Weaver's Wall prevents anybody from coming through, and Cuz is caught here on the exchange, so it's a trade of junglers here. But the follow-up here from Faker that we see in the next replay, where he's waiting for this flank angle to kill aiming, is so significant because he uses everything.
Yeah.
And like, if he actually gets the bigger priority target, the Taliyah, in this fight, I think it's different because the Varus is basically a poke champion right now, whereas the Taliyah is actually the really long-term carry with the Leandri. So if you kill the Taliyah, it's one thing. As we start off feeling good and not so great at the end of the fight.
Oh man, that was
roller coaster.
Okay, 41 kills.
We have passed that.
Yeah, we're way beyond that. We're at 52. They can still somehow do math. Here we go. We're going down mid.
Okay, Elder is ready. BDD has TP.
All right, the burns are coming in. Hence, hey, you got to be careful about some of those. I don't know about that, buddy. As the wave clear is still good. Note that KT does not have Baron, so you know, either you're diving with Elder or you're taking it slow.
Yeah, you're going to have to hope for some Shock Blast to connect. Keria is crazy for going on this flank. One Shock Blast and he's 100 to 0'd.
All right. Cuz again in a precarious position, but he's okay. He's got backup this time. And the poke with Elder It's just so powerful.
Yeah. Cask misses.
Cask miss.
Huge miss.
The wall will not miss. It gets them the turret. It gets them the inhibitor. Still 30 seconds of Elder.
They're going to try to force down a second inhibitor here on top.
Zeus.
Oh, he has GA, but...
Oh, boy. All right. They got this mini wave. Look at this little cannon. He's doing his best. He's tanking it up. He's reducing those resistances.
15 seconds on Elder. This might be the end for this push for KT, but they can just rush over to Baron.
You got to go back.
But I mean,
go to the Baron.
If you lose this Baron fight, you lose the game either way. KT maybe need to set a trap.
Ping on bottom lane from T1. They have double TP.
Yeah, I think KT really need to consider...
you got to send someone back. I think you got to send BDD.
I mean, Keen has TP also.
Oh, maybe you just made a fight? T1 trying to push in mid as a unit, trying to push over to that inhibitor.
Inhib is taking some damage here, but it should be fine.
Back comes in. King gets back, but the damage on the Baron is going to be so fast.
It is super fast. I mean, we are 48 minutes in.
And look, like he's got a TP now. They both got a TP. Are they just going to give it away? Are they just going to try to steal it? Cuz is going to... Nope, they're not going to get in. Cuz flashes in, and now he's probably going to go down.
Where is the follow-up? Where is the TP? Here it comes.
They're finally TPing. Feels like it's hours late as Cuz goes into his GA. And he should be going down here. He doesn't have flash. And now Baron available for T1.
But they have to go back and defend their inhibitors. I think the reason why they waited so long to TP was KT was indecisive about whether they TP to end or they TP to actually take the Baron, because they have 2 TPs to push into the base and actually take out those Nexus turrets and then kill the Nexus. If Cuz gets in there, wins the Smite fight, they have Baron buff on those TPs too. So they were really being indecisive about it, but I think that was really the main reason why they waited so long. But now T1 has Baron buff here. 40 seconds on the Xin Zhao.
Look at this. This is so cute. It's going to buy them some time. It's going to redirect some of the minions for a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't know how significant it's going to be here. They need more than that. They need to get a pick. They need to actually win the team fight.
Trying to buy time for Cuz, right? He's up in 25 seconds. They need to buy as many seconds as they can.
Pressing guard is available. Redemption.
Oh, God, look at that damage. Everybody's full build at this point. There are no boots for the Varus. There are no boots for the Jace.
Yeah, the top wave is really stacking. T1 are going to back away. And I think we're going to have another Elder fight here. Baron buff and Elder lined up here, but with super minions to deal with, I don't think T1 really has the advantage here. It's going to make it easier.
Yeah, we're going to get a second Elder in this game.
This could end up being the longest game of the season.
It's looking pretty likely. Look at this roller coaster we've had.
Our longest game, 51 minutes and 47 seconds. So 1 minute away, 1 minute 12.
We're going to get there.
We're getting there.
We already surpassed the kill amount.
Keria on a flank. Again, he has all this vision set up, and he has been so critical in every single objective fight that T1 has won. JS pushing top here, does have teleport. He's going to push that super minion wave away. If Keria is caught here, the game is essentially lost, but because he knows he has vision and he's swept this out, he could just kind of play this long con game as Lehens thinks he's trying to come over here on the left side of the pit, but he's not. Lehens is trying to look for him, but he's actually just going to commit to the back instead.
Yeah, they're just trying to cover all their bases. Like, with how insane this game has been, I mean, choose now. I mean, it's better late than never, I guess.
They have the Elixirs bot, the Elixir bot here for Lehens. Ward upgraded item here for Keria. I mean, that's the late game we're in right now.
And the damage is there to clear these waves even with Baron buff pretty reliably. So KT are doing a decent job of that. They need mid-prio, which they will be able to recollect.
That top prep,
we're getting close.
That top prep from Zeus was so huge. We've reached top longest game of the season now, and
all right, it's going to come down to this fight.
One more fight to decide this best of 5.
This has got to be the end, right? Like, there's no way. The poke is there for KT. Everybody is buffless. The Cloud Soul might be the difference maker. Let's look at the poke. Look at the damage here. Like, T1 just can't really match that.
Okay,
that's what I've been asking from KT this entire time.
Oner, they're going to try to collapse on him.
Oh,
no way!
Oh, the angle, they get Faker! They get Faker on this one, and that's going to be the end of Zeus as well. 2 pinks go the way of KT. Zeus goes into his GA. Keria is desperate. Down goes Cuz. Okay. Wait. Hold the phone.
Okay, but there's not a lot of damage here in this fight outside of the Xayah. She still has ult. It's going to have to be on Guma to carry this. He's got GA and ult. He also has Gale Force here, so picking him is very difficult.
KT don't have a jungler.
Yeah, teleport coming through.
Okay.
Faker does have TP when he respawns. I don't know if this fight's going to go that long, but it might.
It might. I mean, yeah. Like,
I mean, it's hard to size for either team to win this.
KT just can't let them start it, right? They don't have a smite, so they just have to fight only. Unless you can keep at least forever, basically. You're never really threatening an Elder Drake.
And
Cuz comes in again.
I mean, Cuz does not have teleport when he respawns, so
yeah, no.
T1 have the advantage here. The KT are on a timer right now. They need to hit this poke, and they're not. They're not hitting it. Zeus is on the edge here. KT, they cannot give this up.
The redemption by 2 is just so much value. That's okay. They get the clone, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point you're gonna have to engage. Lens has flash ult.
Yeah, you gotta go. Hook misses and change miss. Not hitting it. Zeus, Mega Gnar. No GA, in he goes!
Keria?
Charm as Guma goes so far forward, and the damage, it looks like it might just be there. They take out BDD! Guma gets the double! And I think that might just be it. We have a respawn of Cuz, and no smite right now for an Oner. He should be able to get it back. It might not matter aiming here on the run. Down he will go as CP into the base! Are you kidding me?
Oh, wait!
Are you kidding me, Kane?
He has GA, but I don't think he can end. I don't think he can end.
Oh, the damage, okay.
So many minions here.
He got so many backs out. He's hitting the turrets. Can anyone take him out?
Oh, they got all the backs. He got all the backs. The Elder didn't go up.
Xayah's still going. They're still pushing. T1 are still pushing. They stopped the back door. And T1 are pushing into the base. T1 should be able to take this down.
I think they've done it. Oh, Cuz back time, the minion! One minion!
Oh, he's gonna get it. Okay, no, there's another wave. There's another wave coming in. I think they've done it. Cuz is just going into a GA. As Guma's so low. And he's gonna back up. Make sure he takes down Cuz. I think they've done it. T1 have finally won the game. T1 take game number 5. They take game number 5 in this telecom war against KT. Down goes the Nexus, and T1 do it.